In 2010, my uncle bought a plasma TV for $2,000, 42 inches, weighed about 60 pounds, took 3 people to mount on the wall. Had exactly 4 HDMI ports, component cables, and a power button. That was it. No apps, no internet connection, no software updates, just a screen that displayed whatever you plugged into it. He still has that TV, it still works perfectly. He uses it with a Roku stick now, and honestly, it's faster than most smart TVs you can buy today. Because here's the thing, that TV from 2010 does exactly what it was designed to do. It shows pictures, it plays sound, it doesn't crash, it doesn't buffer, it doesn't need updates, it just exists. Reliably, and somewhere between that TV and the one you probably own right now, something went horribly wrong. Because TVs got smarter, way smarter. But somehow in the process we got trapped. Let's go back for a second. TVs used to be simple. You bought a box that showed pictures. If you wanted to watch cable, you plugged in a cable box. If you wanted to watch DVDs, you plugged in a DVD player. If you wanted to play video games, you plugged in a console. The TV didn't care what you did with it. It was neutral. A passive screen. A tool, and that was perfect. Then, around 2012, TV manufacturers started getting nervous because people were cutting cable, streaming was taking over, Netflix was exploding, Hulu was growing. And everyone was buying these little boxes, Roku, Apple TV, Chromecast, and plugging them into their fancy, expensive TVs. The TV makers looked at this and thought, wait. Why are people buying external devices? Why aren't we building this stuff into the TV? And on paper, it made sense. Why would you want a separate box cluttering up your entertainment center when the TV could just do it all? Built-in Netflix, built-in Hulu, built-in everything, one remote, one interface, simple. Except it wasn't simple. Because TV manufacturers aren't software companies, here's what happened. Samsung, LG, Sony, Vizio, these are hardware companies. They're really good at making panels. At color accuracy, at brightness and contrast and refresh rates, that's their expertise, that's what they've been doing for decades. But software, operating systems, app ecosystems, that's a completely different skill set. So what did they do? They built their own operating systems anyway. Samsung made Tizen, LG made WebOS. Vizio partnered with companies like Yahoo and eventually bought Inkscape. Everyone wanted their own proprietary system because they thought it would give them an edge. And at first, it kind of worked. The first smart TVs were, okay, not great but functional. You could open Netflix, you could browse YouTube. It was slow, sure, but it was there. And for a lot of people, that convenience was worth it. No extra box, no extra cables, just turn on the TV and go. But then the cracks started to show. Because here's the problem with putting a computer inside a TV. Computers need to be updated. Your phone gets updates constantly. Your laptop gets updates. Your tablet gets updates. And that's fine because you can replace those devices every few years. But a TV, people expect a TV to last a decade, maybe longer. So you've got this situation where someone buys a smart TV in 2015 and the hardware is good. The panel could easily last until 2025, but the software is stuck in 2015. And apps evolve. Streaming services change. Netflix in 2015 looked completely different than Netflix in 2025. The app gets bigger, more complex, more resource-intensive. And that cheap processor the TV manufacturer put in to save costs, it can't keep up. I've got a friend who bought a high-end Samsung in 2016, paid $1,800 for it, gorgeous TV. Amazing picture quality, and for the first 2 years it was perfect, fast, responsive, everything worked. By year 3, the app started lagging. By year 4, Netflix took 30 seconds to open. By year 5, the TV was basically unusable for streaming. The panel was still flawless. No burn-in, no dead pixels, colors still incredible, but the smart features were toast. He bought a Fire Stick for $40 and suddenly everything worked again. Think about that. An $1,800 TV defeated by a $40 streaming stick. That's not a bug. That's a feature, because here's what I think happened. And I'm not saying this is some grand conspiracy, but the incentives are pretty clear. TV manufacturers want you to buy a new TV every 3 to 5 years, not because the screen dies. The screen can last way longer than that, but because the software becomes obsolete. And when the software becomes obsolete, the TV feels broken, even though it's not. So you go back to the store, you buy a new TV, and the cycle repeats. It's planned obsolescence, but with plausible deniability. They can say, well, we can't support every app forever. Technology moves too fast, it's not our fault. But it kind of is their fault. Because they're the ones who decided to integrate the software into the hardware. They're the ones who decided you shouldn't be able to upgrade the processor. They're the ones who designed a system where the TV's brain expires faster than the TV's body, and we're the ones who pay for it, but it gets worse. Because at some point, TV manufacturers realize something. Your TV is connected to the internet. It knows what you watch, when you watch it, how long you watch it, and that data. That data is valuable, so they started collecting it. Every smart TV made in the last 5 years has something called ACR, automatic content recognition. What it does is scan whatever's on your screen, match it to a database, and figure out what you're watching. Then it sells that information to advertisers. You're watching The Office on Netflix. The TV knows, it logs it, it adds you to a demographic, and then advertisers pay money to target people like you. You paid for the TV, but the TV is still making money off you, without asking. Without sharing the profits, it's just happening in the background all the time, and here's the kicker: most people have no idea. I asked 10 people at a party last month if they knew their TV was tracking them. 7 said no, 2 said they thought maybe but weren't sure. One person said yes, but they didn't know how to turn it off. That's the trap, because you can't really opt out, not fully. Sure, you can go into the settings. You can disable personalized content. You can turn off ACR, you can reject data sharing, but then certain apps stop working, or the TV nags you every week to turn it back on. Or a software update resets everything to default and you have to do it all over again. I tried this on my TV, spent 25 minutes going through every privacy setting, turning everything off. A week later, the TV updated. All my settings reset, back to square one, so I gave up. And that's what they want. They want you to give up, because if you give up, they win. They get your data. They get to serve you ads. They get to treat the TV you paid for like it's theirs. And legally, it's all fine. It's in the terms and conditions. You know, that 60-page document you didn't read when you set up the TV. Buried in Section 17, Paragraph 4, by using this device, you agree to let us track everything you do and sell it to third parties. You agreed to it, you just didn't know it. Then there are the ads, because it's not enough to sell your data. They also want to show you ads on a TV you own. Roku TVs do this. Samsung does this. Vizio does this. Amazon Fire TVs are built on this model. You turn on the TV and before you even get to an app, there's an ad, a banner, a promoted show, a recommended product, and you can't remove it. It's baked into the interface. I've got a buddy with a TCL Roku TV, nice TV, good price, picture quality is solid. But every single time he turns it on, there's a full-screen ad that he has to manually dismiss. Every time, for 2 years, that's 730 ads on a TV he paid for, in his own home. When did we decide that was okay? Here's what really gets me. We used to own things. You bought a TV, it was yours. You bought a car, it was yours. You bought a DVD, it was yours. You controlled it. You decided how to use it. Companies didn't get to reach into your living room and change the rules after you'd already paid. But now everything's connected. Everything's smart. And smart means companies maintain control even after the sale. Your TV updates without asking. It shows you ads you didn't agree to. It tracks you without your knowledge. It slows down over time, nudging you toward an upgrade. And if you complain, they shrug and say, that's just how technology works now. But it's not. Technology works however we design it to work. And right now, it's designed to benefit corporations, not consumers. Your smart TV isn't smart for you, it's smart for them. Let me tell you about my parents again. Because this is where it really hits home. They're not tech people, they just want to watch NCIS and the local news. Simple, right? I bought them a smart TV 3 years ago, LG, nice one. I set it up for them, made it as simple as possible, put all their apps on the home screen, showed them how to use the remote. Within 6 months, they were calling me constantly. The TV logged us out of Netflix. The remote stopped working. Everything's in a different place now. There's a new button and we don't know what it does. Every time. It was because of an update. The TV would update overnight, change the interface, move things around, log them out of apps, and they'd be lost. These are people who raised 4 kids, built a business, navigated life before the internet. They're not stupid, but the TV makes them feel stupid, and that's by design. Because the TV isn't designed for them. It's designed for people who work in tech, people who don't mind fiddling with settings, people who can troubleshoot when things break, for everyone else. It's a nightmare. My mom eventually gave up and went back to cable. Pays $120 a month for channels she doesn't watch, but at least it's predictable. At least the interface doesn't change every 3 weeks, and I can't even argue with her, because she's right. So how did we get here? How did we go from TVs that just work to TVs that require troubleshooting? I think it's because somewhere along the line, the industry decided that more features was the same as better. That smart meant good, but a feature is only good if it works. And most smart TV features don't, not reliably. Voice control works half the time, screen mirroring is buggy. The built-in apps are slower than external devices. The interface is cluttered with ads and recommendations you didn't ask for. You're paying extra for features that make your life harder. And the worst part, you can't buy a dumb TV anymore. Not easily. I spent hours researching, trying to find a high-quality 4K panel without all the smart crap. They barely exist. And when they do, they're commercial displays that cost twice as much. The industry has decided that you don't get a choice. Every TV is a smart TV now, whether you want it or not. But here's the thing, you do have a choice, sort of. You can buy a smart TV and just not connect it to the internet. Use it as a dumb display, plug in your own streaming device, your own console. Your own Blu-ray player. That's what I do now. I've got a nice Sony TV, great panel, but I've never connected it to Wi-Fi, never logged into the smart features, never used the built-in apps. I just use it with an Apple TV and it works perfectly. The TV tries to nag me sometimes. Connect to the internet to unlock features? No thanks. Set up voice control? I'm good. Update available? Never. And you know what? It's been 3 years. The TV works exactly the same as the day I bought it. No slowdown, no changes, no surprises, because I didn't let it be smart. I made it dumb on purpose. And it's the best decision I ever made, because here's the secret they don't want you to know. The screen is the only part that matters. Everything else, the processor, the apps, the operating system, it's all temporary. It'll be outdated in 3 years, but the screen, a good screen lasts a decade, so buy for the screen. Ignore the smart features, add your own device, and suddenly you're in control again. You can upgrade your streaming device whenever you want, $50 every few years. Instead of $1,000 for a whole new TV, you can choose which ecosystem you want. Apple, Google, Roku, Amazon, whatever works for you. You can avoid the data collection, the ads, the forced updates. You can own your TV again. I know what you're thinking, but that's inconvenient. I have to use 2 remotes. Yeah, you do, but you know what's more inconvenient? A TV that updates in the middle of movie night. A TV that logs you out randomly. A TV that buffers on a gigabit connection. A TV that serves you ads in your own living room. 2 remotes is a small price to pay for a TV that actually works. So here's my challenge for you. Next time you're looking at TVs, ignore the smart features completely. Don't let the salesperson tell you about the intuitive interface or the built-in apps or the voice control. That stuff is going to be obsolete in 3 years anyway. Instead, ask about the panel, the brightness, the color accuracy, the response time, the stuff that actually matters, the stuff that lasts. Then buy the TV with the best screen, take it home and never connect it to the internet. Use your own streaming device. Use your own remote. Use your own ecosystem. And suddenly you're not trapped anymore. Because that's what this is really about. TVs became smarter so companies could trap you in their ecosystem, trap you with their ads. Trap you in a cycle of upgrades. They sold you convenience. But what they really sold you was dependence. Dependence on their software, their updates, their servers. Their decisions about what your TV can and can't do. You don't own your smart TV, you're just renting the privilege to use it, until they decide it's too old to support, until the apps stop working, until the next update bricks it, and then you buy another one. That's the trap, but you can escape. It's not easy. It requires going against the grain, doing things the old way. Using multiple devices instead of one, but it's worth it, because when you escape the trap, you get something back that you didn't even realize you'd lost. Control over what you watch. When you watch it, how you watch it, control over your data, your privacy, your living room, control over a device you paid for, and that's not nostalgia. That's not being a Luddite, that's just owning your stuff the way it used to be, the way it should be. My uncle still has that plasma TV from 2010. 15 years old, still works perfectly, still looks great. He's never had to troubleshoot it, never had to factory reset it, never had to call customer support or Google why is my TV so slow. It just works. And whenever I visit him, whenever I see that big, dumb, reliable screen on his wall, I think, that's what a TV should be, not smart, just good.